Sup nerds, I'm CuppaJoey and welcome back to another episode of r/onejob and r/notmyjob. I put these two into one video because, hey, you can be the one to decide whether it was somebody who couldn't do the one job that they were supposed to do or just didn't want to do something that wasn't their job in the first place. Please note, as no one could be bothered to change this clock, it is 1 hour fast. Please note, the above sign is currently not in use. Oh, very nearly saw then. Very nearly didn't say frick. Oh god, it's just, I mean, it's bad enough not being bothered to change the clock. The fact that, like, okay, so the first note is seriously passive-aggressive, like, as no one could be bothered to change this clock, it's 1 hour fast. Like, why don't you change it? Like, surely it would have taken just as long to, get up, pick up the clock, tick, 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 okay, done, put it back. Then it would have to type up that note and then print it out, blue tack it up. But then to have the other note instead of just taking the first one down, I mean, are they just being deliberately petty at this point? I really don't know how to take this. So we got the myna bird, the pigeon, the deer, and the horse. I mean, the horse is a bit Adler-y more than normal, but that deer's looking all kinds of weird. I mean, I'm not sure if the Hindi says the same thing. If there is anybody watching this who speaks or understands Hindi, if you could tell me whether the word is the same as the word or the picture, then that would be informative. But what gets me is that, like, it all looks wrong apart from the minor birds, from what I can, from, like, the very limited amount, from the arse of the minor bird, you can see that it does look like a minor bird, but the pigeon looks like a freaking eagle. I don't know, do you just have, like, really fancy, really majestic pigeons in India? And if so, I'm concerned about the fact that your deers meow. I'm starting to wonder whether this was just, poorly judged placement, or whether this is some kind of evil scheme to rid the city of cyclists. Yeah, because, if anybody's harassing cities, freaking cyclists. So bad. Like, seriously, think about the amount of injuries that could happen from this. This is like so many accidents waiting to happen already. The fact that it's freaking on the cycle, like, it isn't like it's just off. Like, if it was just off, it would be a little bit dodgy. But it's like, how are you supposed to avoid that if you're on a bike? Oh no, this one's even worse. Oh no, that was like so much worse. At least with the other one, you're just gonna, maybe fall over and, at the absolute worst, chip a nose or break a tooth. Sorry, break your nose or chip your nose. Break your nose or chip a tooth. At least you're not gonna be like, time to cycle in the water. Unless you've got a freaking Jesus bike going on. I don't know how that's gonna work out for anyone. I ordered melted cheese fries from Burger King and they gave me this. Oh, that's a sad snack. That's just those all the chips you got as well? Also, how come you get melted cheese chips over there? We don't get that over here. What the hell? I want cheesy chips. I think the best cheesy chips are ones that are, mixed with a mix of mozzarella and cheddar, because the cheddar gives the flavour and the mozzarella gives the stringiness. And I mean, like, the cheese isn't even melted, so this is just so depressing to look at. BRYAN High School. Welcome to BRYAN High, which, when you say it out loud, doesn't really sound that bad. But when you look at the sign, you might notice... I mean, come on, whoever wrote the thing must know who it's for, right? They didn't just hear it over the phone and were like, yeah, don't worry, I got you. Especially when it's right underneath the freaking sign. Also, I won't lie, like, I was half asleep when I first saw this picture, and when I looked at it, I thought that it was just welcoming this one kid called Brian, who's like to the high school, goes, welcome to BRYAN High, and I was like, what? Which I don't know if that would have been better for the whole thing, but oh well. Tennessee woman stunned when new driver's license has a picture of an empty chair. Not for federal identification. I mean, you'd have some difficulty there. Oh my god. I mean, how do we know that she's not just a vampire? And that's why it's not coming up. I'm sorry, but I'm just giggling. Like, not only have you got the empty chair, but it's got like the slightly faded out version of the empty chair next to it. And of course, I know that, driver's licenses are different depending on state in the US. You guys have got a very interesting, weird demographic going on. It's just eyes. Bro. I know it means brown, but that's still how I read it. Farts, Jim. This is where you work on your farts. Notice, to use the disabled lift, please come upstairs to the buffet and notify a member of staff so that we can turn the power on. Thank you. Are you seeing the issue? Are you seeing the issue with asking somebody to come upstairs that might not be able to go upstairs without the lift? You buffoon, you cretin, you absolute fool. Seriously, it also, it kind of assumes that wheelchair users aren't independent as well. It's kind of giving that hint of oh, you have to wait outside while somebody goes up. And let's say that they were someone with a carer. They might not necessarily feel comfortable waiting outside while their carer goes in to do something. And if we're looking at the pram, for example, if it's a mother, she's not, or anybody with a kid, they're not just going to leave the kid outside or the pram outside when they go in and ask you to turn the power on. This is a way of, not only losing business, but, no, I was going to say this is not only a way of, being inaccessible, but it's also losing business because, people are going to want to go in. In fact, if I saw that as an able-bodied person, I would actually walk away just because I wouldn't feel comfortable being somewhere like that. And also the suggestion that, you shouldn't have the power on all the time, so people with disabilities can't access it as easily as everyone else. That's really bad. This is just a really poor practice. And I can tell that it's in the UK as well because they said lift instead of elevator. And they typo, so it shows how little they give a crap. Pink... Oh, oh no. Oh, no, that's not how you spell cleats. Oh dear. Oh no. It makes the whole I no longer use it so you're too tight on me so much worse. I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm actually crying. I'm actually crying. This just broke me. And then there are 60 laughing reacts as well. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. I'm sure they found out eventually. So this is one of the few ones where I did watch it before I, decided to record and everything. And yep, there we go. I can understand it. I mean, let's face it, Amazon workers do not get paid anywhere near enough. If you want to blame this kind of attitude towards your parcels, then don't blame this person, blame Jeff Bezos, because, he's the guy that's employing people to work for next to nothing. And really awkward, when you have to deliver a certain amount in order to get paid properly for that day, of course you're going to end up chucking it just to get it done and quick and rushing away, that's absolutely normal. And when you consider that the person delivering this is wearing a face shield as well, this is clearly post, plague times. So, this is somebody being exploited that's just trying to make their job a little easier. Yeah, you can say it's unacceptable to treat a package like this, but, it isn't their fault. It's the fact that they're, working under really strict conditions. Yeah, this is one of those, one of the unfortunate byproducts of, a really crappy capitalist system we got going on. R/1IOP. The irony. I didn't even realize this was wrong at first. That's how bad my eyes are. I was like, yeah, one job. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with linking to one job? Oh, yes, it's going to be an absolute scorcher this summer. In the UK and London, it's about 32 degrees Celsius. 28 in Madrid, 33 in Paris. But if you go like just a little further south, it's 230 degrees Celsius. So I don't know, you might want to wear a hat if you go out. Colorblind test. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I think I might be colorblind. Yeah, who printed this out? Because it's in like a freaking plastic sheet thing. Somebody actually gave it out. I can just about make out some of the numbers. I mean, in a way, this is kind of like screwing over the people that might be colorblind, because if it's based on the shade of the grey, then they might be able to figure it out when they probably couldn't before. I can't see the middle two numbers though. I can't at all. Like, it's just completely grey mess for me. How does this happen? Like, I mean, seriously, how? I mean, that's impressive. How long did it have to be there, first of all? Because the top, like, you can see where the grass was poking out the top of the cone, and it's green there. I mean, that's cool. I'm not gonna lie, I find this quite fascinating. Like, how long would it have had to have been there? Is this just from whoever's mowing the lawn not wanting to move the cone? Is this from years of that? Because that's amazing. That's like a level of laziness that I aspire to in my life. That my main issue now is that I'm not lazy enough. I really need to figure out a way to get off of my ass as little as possible. French flag pillow, €15.99, and the Dutch flag pillow, €9.99. Yes, this is probably a British store, as we have this thing called the French tax, which is what you have to pay if you are French. Seriously, this really doesn't make any sense. It's the exact same freaking pillow. If anything, it's only the zipper placement that's only going to be different. Alexa, show me irony. I love this. Yes, these are definitely the people that you want to trust with aligning things properly. There's absolutely no way it could possibly go wrong. I just absolutely love this. It's an extra level. Just, this is definitely one of those one job as opposed to only, not my job even. Because it's literally the freaking name of the company. How can you get it that wrong? What is the name? I'm sorry, just that M looks quite sad as well. It's just like, I don't know why it just really tickled me as much as it did, but oh god. Due to the plague, the CDC says people should stay 6 feet apart from each other. If you are feeling ill, please stay home and quarantine yourself. Oh no. Yes, go home and make yourself a little corn effigy of Billie Eilish. She was the only famous teenager that I can think of right now. Seriously, I was like racking my brains to, while looking at this before I started to record, trying to think of a freaking famous teenager, and they're like all in their 20s. I just feel really old now. Biggest plague worries, getting it, family getting it, and the economy. 62% plus 68% plus 48%. That's a perfect pie chart right here. What is it with these really side small news channels and just getting pie charts terribly wrong? Like, there's a way that you can, maybe do a different kind of chart where you're saying, how many people out of the population without, just putting it like this so it doesn't make any sense whatsoever. I think, folks, we can all agree that, drink driving isn't the best idea, no matter the circumstances. But I'm pretty sure that you might get caught a little bit if you drink and drive while you're supposed to be doing the lines down the road. Or maybe this is how we're supposed to drive from now on. Maybe we're supposed to across the middle of the road. I'm sure that's a lot safer. Chukapee, use Bunderthalt! I'm sorry, but unless this was a factory error, how the hell does this happen? Even if you have never seen a freaking Pikachu in your freaking life, surely you wouldn't say, yeah, the glowing red death is definitely the eyes. That can't possibly be the cutesy little kind of Christmas elf type cheek blush. No, that has to be freaking death lasers coming out of the eyes with these weird freaking dotted, implants on the cheek in order to plug in your USB to, get the latest, Bill Nye hentai going on your screen. Not kidding. I find this really cool. This looks like some kind of, the maze in a horror game. Like, this looks like it could be part of some horror thing where you have to escape from zombies. I actually really like the way this looks. I mean, you probably have to put on shades halfway through walking down this corridor because it's a lot brighter at the end with about 1,000 lights than it is at, the end nearer to the camera where there's like 2. But, either way, it's pretty cool, right? God damn it, cyclists are having a really bad time of it now. What kind of a crash barrier is this? Just, go this way. It'll be fine, trust me. Oh my God's sake. I'm just feeling really bad for cyclists during this episode. Little fact, I never actually learned how to ride a bike. I kept falling off and crying. So, yeah, I gave up. That's what you should take from this episode. If at first you don't succeed, give up. It's not worth it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh dear. Oh, has somebody told them? I mean, to be fair, like, the Indian, Chinese, tandoori, this sounds really nice. It's, those are all, like, foods that I really like. But, oh no. They're showing what they offer for the second part, but what are they offering for the the first part of that? I also like the phrase food points. That's really cool, like, as opposed to, like, a stance. Like, is that a common phrasing in India? Because that's really cool. Like, I like that. We should adopt that, food point. So, yeah, just gonna stop in at the food point. It makes it sound like a poker stop, or like a petrol station. Oof. This is where all the packages were put for a block of flats. And to be fair, I'm not entirely sure how these flats work. But to be fair, it looks like they've all just got really tiny little pigeonholes. I mean, is it a case that they could be asked to just go up to the flat in order to deliver it? Because, I've not lived in a flat for a really long time, so I'm not entirely sure how this would work. But, I mean, like I said before, they're only getting paid per how many deliveries they do. They're not being paid enough to take it up to the place and actually give a damn. But I can understand how if you live in the flat, it's going to be really annoying to, like, go down and have to search through all of them and figure it all out. But, you can tell by the crabby little smirky smile that most of these are Amazons. So I'm really not surprised to see it like this. 18 plus, and I'm single. I'm single? No. It's I are single. Yep. You gotta get on top of that, Grammarly. Or maybe they just got the IR Baboon version of that. Does anybody else remember IR Baboon and I Am Weasel? That was like the cartoon that was at the end of the Cow and Chicken cartoons. I freaking loved IR Baboon. Never run out of ink, except, oh boy, who's gonna be the one to tell him? No, don't tell Big Ink that they ran out of ink. There's gonna be a really freaking angry squid somewhere. Not wanting it, for God's sake. I've never been to a Denny's, being that I've never really been in America for longer than 2 hours at a time. But apparently this is deliberate because it's supposed to stand out to you that it's wrong. If so, that's absolutely terrible. I think it looks awful. And even so, apparently when you go in, it's absolutely terrible anyway. I see so many things about drunken fights in a Denny's parking lot. That's pretty much my only reference to Denny's that I have, so hey. This is probably accurate in terms of building up expectation. Well, that's it for this episode of r/onejob and r/notmyjob. I totally resonate with everybody in this video because that's about as much effort as I put into anything. And as I say at the end of every episode, if you enjoyed hearing from these subreddits or would like to hear from any other subreddit, then do let me know in the comments. And until then, I'll see you all next time.